Hey everyone, it's Jeff, and today I want to talk about IMAX as it relates to home entertainment and what's going on with IMAX on streaming services and where it's missing on some key 4K physical media discs like Dune Part 2. So this topic kind of came up because there are a lot of people fired up right now about Dune Part 2, which looks fantastic, and I gave you kind of a funny, goofy review because what else can you say? It's an incredible movie and it looks amazing. But it doesn't have IMAX scenes on the disc, meaning that it doesn't fill your whole TV, which is not true IMAX, obviously. But, there have been other films like a Top Gun Maverick or some of the stuff that Nolan has done with, Oppenheimer or Interstellar, and you'll get those full screen aspect ratios. So there's no black bars. It fills your entire screen, and those IMAX scenes get that treatment. It's very prevalent in a few of Nolan's movies, especially like The Dark Knight. And sometimes you get a switching aspect ratio, right? So you'll have black bars, and then for an IMAX scene, you have full screen. And people are kind of upset about this, and there's some IMAX enhanced versions of Marvel movies and Disney stuff on Disney Plus that we never got on disc. And so it's become kind of a hot topic, and I just want to kind of explain as I've talked to people in the industry, no names here, but I've talked to quite a few people, and they've explained and basically confirmed what I thought. Real quick before we begin, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor for today's video, Gentle Bands. Gentle Bands is a really cool place to pick out your next wedding ring. I actually upgraded my ring with them. Here's mine right here. It's made out of dinosaur bone and meteorite and has a tungsten base. So for me, that was huge. It's called the Jurassic. You can find it on their website, but I love Jurassic Park. And so this was a no-brainer. They shipped it out super quick, came in a really nice package. And also if you want to get it engraved, they offer that for free. One really cool thing was that when I ordered it, I ordered a size 11, but I don't know if I lost some weight or what, but it was actually a little bit big. I contacted their customer service. I said, hey, can I get it resized? Can I go down to like a 10 and a half? They said, you keep the old one, we'll get a 10 and a half out to you right away. They did a couple days later. Here it is on my hand now. It fits great. So that was amazing customer service. And if you're not somebody who can wear your wedding ring all day because you work with your hands or for whatever reason, they actually also offer a chain, which is really cool. It's this nice long chain. You can attach your wedding ring to it so you can wear it with you all day. If you guys want to try Gentle Bands, I have a 25% off code. You can use Jeff Movies on their website. I'll put the link in the description and in the pinned comment. That'll get you 25% off your order, and they're already very reasonable prices. So thanks to Gentle Bands for sponsoring. Thank you for this Jurassic Park ring, which I love so much. I keep looking at it and playing with it. It's just amazing to have dinosaur bones on your finger. And for all my sci-fi fans out there, Gentle Bands has a brand new collection of sci-fi inspired rings for you to check out. So go check them out, Gentle Bands. The link and my code will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Go give them a try. So the number one thing when it comes to IMAX is you have to understand what IMAX is. And IMAX is a business. IMAX is out to make money. And anywhere you see the IMAX name, somebody has paid for that. So if you're at a movie theater and they have an IMAX theater, the movie theater most of the time don't actually own that. IMAX is basically like leasing out a space, and the movie theater might even be paying a premium or helping the IMAX cinema stay up to date. But those are all like independently owned and operated by IMAX. That's part of their business. The other thing is when a movie is released in IMAX, they pay for that. When it's shot with IMAX cameras, they pay for that. And if it does come out on disc or on a streaming service with the IMAX enhanced tag, they're paying for that. So the bottom line is it's all dollars. And when it comes to physical media, especially in the last few years, dollars are tight, budgets are even tighter, and they usually don't have the money to justify the IMAX scenes because they can't put them on the disc without branding this as, IMAX enhanced and without giving IMAX that kickback. So while you will get it on certain films, like, a Christopher Nolan movie, he's probably asking for that, requesting it. IMAX may be using that partially as a marketing tactic, right, to get more people interested in IMAX. But like the whole thing is just business. It's plain business. That's why it's done. It's not laziness or anybody's part. It's not that they didn't want to put it on the disc. It's usually a cost factor. And even something like Dune Part 2 right now on physical media is not going to sell enough to probably justify the pretty big price tag that IMAX would ask for to put it on the disc. And so then you're probably asking, well, how do the streaming services do it, like they have to pay too. And they do. My feeling is though that they probably get a sort of license and they work out a deal for the entire service. Hence why like Disney Plus has a bunch of IMAX enhanced, because IMAX probably worked with Disney. They worked out a deal. They said, oh, this is great. This is really great marketing. Also, streaming has, 10, 20x the amount of people watching that physical media does. And so they worked out a deal. Disney paid them. And then Disney probably has this running license to use IMAX and to show IMAX enhanced films on their service. So it's a money game. And when Disney looked at physical media, I'm sure again that they couldn't justify the cost. And I honestly haven't seen IMAX scenes on a film that wasn't Christopher Nolan, I think since Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick definitely had those scenes in it. I don't know if it was actually branded as IMAX, but I do know that if you're using the stuff that was shot for IMAX with IMAX cameras, whether you actually brand it on the case or not and say it's IMAX enhanced, if you're using that content, like you have to give IMAX a kickback essentially. And so maybe for Top Gun Maverick, the money was there and it was a big enough release, literally the biggest movie in probably the last decade for a lot of people. It made crazy money. It was an insane blockbuster hit. So maybe they had the money there, but even Dune Part 2 didn't live up to Top Gun Maverick. Like there's a big difference there money-wise. So that's really what it comes down to for the most part is dollars. But there is another aspect of this, which could just be the director's involvement. And there are certain directors, and Denis Villeneuve may be one of them. Christopher Nolan is one of them. James Cameron, that caliber, who have both the pull to decide how things look on home entertainment, which not every director has, but they also have a very specific way they want things to look. Christopher Nolan talks about he mixes his films differently for theaters than he does for home entertainment, streaming, and physical media. It's all mixed differently for different environments, and it could be color graded, slightly differently. And there are things they do for those directors who really truly care about this stuff, for better or worse. In some cases, like James Cameron can meddle with things a little too much. But for better or worse, there's things they want to do. And so if Christopher Nolan says, I want the IMAX scenes, Warner Brothers is going to pay because he's a cash cow for them. Denis Villeneuve, on the other hand, may say, you know what, I don't love the IMAX, because when you really think about IMAX in a home theater, a 16:9, even a projection screen, unless you have like a 4:3 projection screen, a 16:9 widescreen screen isn't going to really give you IMAX. IMAX is much more of a square aspect ratio. So all you're really doing is you're gaining maybe 20% of like the true IMAX experience. You're not getting the full height. You're not even really getting the full width, I think, at times, just because it's a different aspect ratio. So when it comes to that and they're mixing it and it has to be all mixed differently for a disc, a lot of them may say, just forget it. The IMAX version was designed for theaters who could show IMAX, and 99.99999% of us out there don't have IMAX screens or even IMAX ratio, projector screens at our house. Everything is widescreen 16:9. And so they just say, hey, just, for the home entertainment release, let's not mess with it. Maybe they don't like the shifting aspect ratios, whatever it is. They say, forget it. I don't want to do it. For home entertainment, this is the best way to watch the movie. And so sometimes it may not be dollars, but it could just be personal preference from the director and cinematographers and the team involved in the transfer. So I'm sure dollars is a huge part of it, but there definitely is director involvement, and there are directors out there who make those decisions, and I could understand why they may not love the way that IMAX at home looks, because it's not truly IMAX. And so you may be saying like, yeah, that's true, but like Dolby also is going to charge you for using, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, or I get that, but it is a little bit different because I'm pretty sure you can buy those licenses on like a larger scale, and most 4K discs in most Blu-rays are using Dolby Atmos at this point, or DTS:X, and they're using Dolby Vision or HDR10 Plus. So when it's something you use over and over and over again, the cost is justified. It's spread out across many releases, versus once a year you have a release that has IMAX on it, and to slap that on your disc is cost prohibitive. So it's not really a comparable. I know that you may be thinking that like, oh, well, they got to pay Dolby. It's, I think, probably a little bit cheaper. And IMAX, really, from what I understand, it's pretty substantial to the point where, like, if we put IMAX on this, this release won't make money. And if it won't make money, then it's not going to see the light of day. So they don't do it. So I hope that helps explain some of what's going on behind the scenes. IMAX is a big player. They're out to make money. And, one of the only ways they make money is the equipment and the theatrical experience, which, they're also on the hook for. It costs them money to, lease theater space, however those agreements work out. And then licensing out to different services or even to, museums, or I'm in New England and Jordan's Furniture has IMAX theaters, right? And so, like, they're just looking for areas that they can make a few bucks, and this is another one of those areas. And so sometimes you get Sony who puts like IMAX enhanced on Angry Birds 2, I think it was, which is like why they do that, but maybe they had a license and it was expiring and they had to use it somewhere. Like, at the end of the day, it's a lot of stuff behind closed doors. It's a lot of business decisions that we'll probably never fully understand. But the answer to most of the things, when you say like why, it's usually money. So thank you for watching. If you want more information on physical media, home entertainment in this world, plus reviews and everything else on movies, make sure you subscribe here to the channel. I'd appreciate that. Also, make sure to follow me on social media. Those links are in the description and right here with the QR code. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter and come listen to my podcast, those links are also right here. The newsletter and podcast go out every Wednesday. Almost 10,000 of you have signed up for the newsletter, which is incredible. And I've got exclusive writing and things in there to get more in depth on topics that I just love, movies I want to talk about. So it's a really cool way to stay in touch with me, and it's completely free, just your email address. So appreciate all the support there. Appreciate all the support here on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you soon.